my favorite student.
I'd like to call the February Jefferson County Board of Legislature meeting to order. If you'd please stand for the pledge and then a moment of reflection. Seated. Okay. Roll call of members.
Legislator Nabawanik. Here. Maxon. Here. Monticelli. Here. McBride. Here. Drake. Jarrow. Here. Ferris. Here. Peck. Here. Ansett. Johnson. Here. Cantwell. Here. Doldo. Here. Gray.
Here. Privilege of the floor. Anybody like to address the board? Please step forward, state your name and address. Come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Board of Legislators. My name is Don Metzger. I'm here as a private citizen, and I'm a year-round resident here of Jefferson County for the last 41 years. I'd like if you would let me read a short excerpt from yesterday's Watertown Daily Times. This is an article written by Marcus Wolf, who I think you all know. He's covered this chamber for the Times, and the date is yesterday, and the headline reads, "The JCIDA adopts uniform tax exemption policy," by Marcus Wolf, yesterday's Watertown Times, Dateline Watertown. The Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency adopted a revised version of its uniform tax exemption policy Tuesday meaning a week ago today. The policy, which provides a general outline of what the agency requires for payment in lieu of taxes agreements, now includes language that supports my emphasis, the county's tax policy for alternative energy projects. The county requires developers to pay an amount equal to full taxation for projects with an output greater than 25 watts. So it was approximately maybe 2 years ago when this board passed that resolution that basically said no pilots for commercial industrial wind projects, and I really applauded that at the time when you did that. I still do. And the JCIDA, they wavered and waffled for a long time, and finally last week they adopted what you people adopted way before. You showed the leadership in this, and adopted a no pilot program for energy projects over 25 megawatts. So you were the leaders in this area, and leaders know the way and they show the way, and that's what you did, and the JCIDA followed your lead, and I'm very appreciative for you being the leaders in this, and thank you for it, and hope that you'll continue being the leaders that you are. Thank you for the privilege of the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Don. Anybody else? None? Okay. Does anybody desire to have the minutes of the last session read? If not, is there any additions, deletions, or corrections? None? Then they'll stand as presented. Presentations of petitions, notices, and communications.
We do have a couple communications this evening to report. First, we received a very nice letter of appreciation from the CAPC Executive Director for both the ongoing funding of their agency as well as the added funding for 2018. We also have received an official notice of approval from the New York State Ag and Markets Commissioner on the proposed adjustments to the Jefferson County Ag District Number 2. For this year, or excuse me, for last year, we now have on file annual reports for 2017 from the County Auditor, Board of Elections, County Clerk, Probation, and County Planning, and several of them are on your desk. Finally, we received a very nice and sincere note of appreciation from Terry and Al Drake for their BOL support, Board of Legislators support relative to the challenging times getting better. That's all.
And we are certainly glad to see you back and better. So, reports of standing committees.
We report of Finance and Rules Committee reporting favorably on resolutions number 61, 63, and 65.
Reports of county officers and
We have
others.
two. First, the report from the county treasurer on investments in cash on hand, and a report of the county administrator on budget transfers.
Local laws and resolutions and motions. Resolution number 47.
First resolution of the evening is appointing representative to Cordell Cooperative Extension Association of Jefferson County.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 48.
Next, appointing members to the Regional Fish and Wildlife Management Board.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 49.
Appointing members of the Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 50.
Appointment to Jury Board.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 51.
Reappointing members to Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Carried. 52.
Reappointing members to the Watertown Jefferson County Area Transportation Council.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Carried. 53.
Approving reappointments to the Sports Fishery Advisory Board.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Carried. 54.
Amending the 2017 county budget for sales tax distribution.
Discussion? None. Roll call vote.
Legislator Monticelli? Yes. Jarrow? Yes. McBride? Yes. Maxson? Yes. Drake? Yes. Ferris? Yes. Joldo? Yes. Cantwell? Yes. Peck? Yes. Johnson? Yes. Adsett? Yes. Nabawanek? Yes. Gray?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 55.
Amending the policy of the Jefferson County Board of Legislators in regards to the abatement of real property and other taxation for alternative energy projects.
Discussion? Yes. Mr. Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we aware, I did not see the text of the approved UTEP, but I assume that we will be forwarding this. I'm sure that they wouldn't be getting a pilot through them for a project smaller than 25 megawatts, but just wanted to, are we going to network with the IDA board to make sure that our policy, our latest updated policy reflects what they just did? excellent. That's why I'm glad you're on that board, Bill.
I'll echo that sentiment too. So, and just for clarification, the actual policy, and this goes to, Don, your comments, the actual policy does not prevent a pilot. It prevents tax abatement on the behalf of the county. So, just so everybody's clear on that. Two different things. So, further discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 56.
Reappropriating funds from various unspent grants relative to the Fire and Emergency Management Department and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call vote?
Legislator Maxon?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Monticelli?
Yes.
Jarrow?
Yes.
Cantwell?
Yes.
Drake? Adsett? McBride?
Yes.
Ferris?
Yes.
Doldo? Nabawanik?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
57.
Authorizing agreement with Indian River School District for school resource officer.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 58.
Establishing the position of nurse practitioner.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 59.
Authorizing agreement with the City of Watertown for transportation services for the elderly.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 60.
Appointing and reappointing members to the Community Services Board.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 61.
Amending the 2018 county budget to recognize additional state aid and authorizing amended agreement with the Children's Home in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call vote?
Legislator Nabawanik?
Yes.
Jarrow?
Yes.
Adsett? Ferris?
Yes.
Drake? McBride? Monticelli? Johnson?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
Cantwell?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Doldo? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carried.
62.
Authorizing agreement in relation to immunization action plan funding.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I was one step ahead here. 63.
Accepting funding in connection with the New York State Department of Health's Local Health Department Performance Incentive Initiative and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call vote?
Legislator Johnson?
Yes.
Nabawanik?
Yes.
Cantwell?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
Adsett? Ferris?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Jarrow?
Yes.
Doldo?
Yes.
Drake? Monticelli?
Yes.
McBride? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
64.
Appointing member to the Jefferson County Public Health Service Professional Advisory Committee.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 65.
Accepting donation on behalf of the Department of Social Services and amending the 2018 county budget.
Discussion? None? Roll call vote?
Legislator Adsett? Monticelli?
Yes.
McBride? Jarrow?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Ferris?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
Cantwell? Johnson? Doldo?
Yes.
Drake? Nabawanik?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the last of the evening is 66.
Appointing member to the Samaritan Summit Village Board of Directors.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That concludes the resolutions. Is there anything else that would like to come before the board tonight, Mr. Peck?
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Just wanted to take a moment and give some credit to the JCIDA board for passing the revised UTEP. I think it is appropriate. It took in into consideration a lot of the concerns that was out there in the community, and I think it does well for protecting taxpayers, but also for continuing to allow a mechanism for development to happen within our county. So just want to give praise to the board for the passage of that. And two questions otherwise. Just how things come out at the NISAC convention, and is there any plan of work for the Shared Services Committee this year that Bob was running last year, or is that just, are we idling that for the time being?
Well, if you mean shared services relative to some of the activities and programs we identified last year, yes, that will move forward into discussion. On a bigger level, what may or may not happen with the shared services program statewide, it was discussed a little bit actually at the conference, but there's no real final determination of what's going to take place one way or the other in that regard. So we're going to be doing something regardless, but it's not anything that's mandatory at this time because we've already submitted our programs. And therefore, to the extent that something were to surface and there would be a demonstrated savings, that would not be subject to any kind of reimbursement to the state because we've already submitted our plan. But that does not mean we shouldn't go forward regardless. Bigger picture, starting next year and beyond, what may take place. I know what the governor would like to do, whether or not that's the final action of the state assembly and Senate remains to be seen. Thank you.
Much of what NISAC was about was the state budget and the proposals that are included in the state budget. So a lot of that is, you know, you can take early positions on a variety of items and advocate for the positions, but a lot of it is to be seen through the machinations of the state Senate and Assembly. So until that starts moving forward, you know, there's a lot of the different proposals. One is making the shared services panel permanent. So there's a variety of other, you know, there's also talk of the indigent services that we're providing and the defense and, you know, reimbursement there, which is tied to the tax cap. And so,
although I would note, this happened today for the first time, this is an FYI, on a couple of occasions over the years, Pete Fazio has stepped in to lend assistance in Lewis County relative to their veteran services program where somebody's retired. And is able, because he's a certified department director, is able to sign off on many of the requests that come by way of the veterans. He is now commuting to and from on Tuesdays, Oswego County. Referencing NISAC, I got approached last week of a similar situation in Oswego County by Phil Church, and as of today, he is now wandering, you know, one day a week down to Oswego County to lend assistance for probably about 2 months. So it helps them out. And again, we have full staff here, so there's really no impact in a negative way that way. That should work out very positively. That's a good example of shared services. Small scale, but still very important.
Yep. Oh, first of all, does that suffice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering, in those shared services meetings, are all the towns present at once, or it's kind of hit and miss?
Well, what we did last year, everybody was invited all the time, and I would say it wasn't just towns, it was villages. And I would say 75% of the local communities participated on a regular basis. What John is referring to, as a result of that, there's 3 or 4 different concepts that were identified by certain localities that will do the initial outreach to, and kind of build the blocks from there, as long as there's enough participation to make it financially worthwhile. IT is an area, there's a discussion of planning, and real property was another area, different programs that were identified. So, well, this year's outreach will be more specific to those individuals that originally indicated an interest to pursue things.
Well, the reason I asked is I just thought it might be a good opportunity to really explore and talk about dog control with the municipalities that are affected. Just so I thought if we had them all in the room at the same time, might be a good spot.
I can assure you, when we were getting together, I raised that issue on a couple different occasions.
Probably would be a benefit if maybe if we surveyed the towns and villages ahead of the meeting schedule to see what's on their radar as well. That way we can collect some information first and be prepared when they walk in the room. Last time we were somewhat under the gun and we did not have the time to perform that type of task. But now that we know that it's coming back around and could be permanent, we have an opportunity to kind of tweak the process, so to speak, and kind of hone it in. So when the working group gets here, it's more than just throwing ideas around. It's maybe getting into some of the ideas that have surfaced. If we can collectively get something to surface up ahead of time.
Well, absolutely, and I think it might be a good opportunity. We're kind of losing control of one of the biggest shared services we have, and I mean, maybe it should be part of this whole shared service discussion.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. It is and will continue to be. So we're addressing that as fast as we can and as effectively as we can. Yes. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe, Bob, there's going to be a presentation at the Finance and Rules meeting this month from the JCIDA. Marshall Weir will be here talking about the marketing strategies from there. So people that are not on Finance and Rules, if you're interested, there's going to be a presentation at the next Finance and Rules meeting.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for your representation of our thoughts and our concerns on the UTEP also. I understand it was not an easy meeting, the couple ones leading up to the adoption of it, but you all hung in there nicely. So, pardon? Appreciate it very much. Anything else come before the board? Questions, concerns? Mr. Ferris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just curious where we were with the Sheriff's Department and the permit help that they might need.
And the help they may need?
Did they need, we were talking about either getting someone in there to help them out?
We have the part-time person in there. They had a person in there, the person ended up leaving before they really got groomed into the job, but there's a new person in there now. We've yet to hear we've yet to hear how the progress has changed from the time that we've added somebody new into there, and then we're waiting to hear back from them on that. That is a fundamental question that we're looking for, is has the progress on the permit backup changed since the part-time person was in there. They have also somebody that's on light duty that is working the pistol permit process as well. So those two things hopefully are speeding the process up. Speeding the process up is a perspective, and everybody's interpretation to everybody differently. So some will maintain that's a normal process. Some will maintain it's not fast enough. So just keep in mind we're trying to work through that, and the administrators has had several discussions with the sheriff and the undersheriff. So they are very aware of your concerns, and it is, again, work. What's that? Yes. The resource officer that you approved this evening has been conveyed to them that in their off times from the schools would be a perfect opportunity to utilize that person in that regard as well. So we're throwing as many initiatives towards them as we can. So, okay.
So that is not a full-time person, but one part-time person and one person who's on light duty, who's working a full-time to do that.
Well, the detectives also do some of the pistol background checks. They're required to. We supplemented that with a half-time person. It was approved by the board. It was a person that was 20 hours a week, 364 days, didn't roll over into the next budget. If they're making some progress with that, and I assume that they are, we certainly will come back to you and ask you to re-up that initiative if it's helping them. Anything to kind of keep the process moving forward. So. Anything else? None? Motion to adjourn? Mr. Ferris, Mr. Doldo, all those in favor? We're adjourned. Means nothing. What am I trying to say? Depends upon who you ask. You'll get a different definition every time. That is the norm, or that is not the norm.
Set up
With Patty
with
Ritchie,
Patty and then kind of
the governor, when he did the welcome center at, when he did the welcome center, he basically stepped all over. When he did the welcome center at, when he announced that.
one up by the bridge, of course.
Yeah. For some
That's
reason,
two different things, I know.